Okay, this is variables on both sides, but it's part 2. We're going to take it up a little bit and make it a little bit more challenging. Really, the only thing we're going to add to it is some distribution and more combining of terms. So this is just a review of what we did yesterday. You do not need to put this one in your notes. I'm going to have to write this over here to have enough space. So I have 4x plus 38 equals 22x plus 2. I either need to subtract 4x from both sides or 22x from both sides. I'm going to subtract the 4x. And the reason I'm doing that is because 22 minus 4 is easier for my brain. 22 minus 4 would give me an 18x. Now I'm going to subtract 2. Now I'm just left with a two-step equation. So it's going to give me 36 equals 18x. Dividing both sides by 18. X equals 2. That's just a review of how to solve equations with variables on both sides. This is a review of how to simplify. Once again, does not need to be put into your notes, just a review on how to simplify. I'm going to distribute, and then I'm going to combine like terms. 3 times 9 is 27x. 3 times 2 is 6. Combining the x's, 27 plus 2 is 29x. Combining the air bubbles, 6 plus 4 is 10. Now we're going to do it, put it all together into an equation. We're going to put it all together. We're going to distribute, and then we're going to solve it. Let's get our notes ready to go. Actually, I'm going to get my lights to turn back on first, so I can see what I'm doing here. Lights. You know what, before we do this, I want to do a flow map with a really good logic here on how to do these. Okay, so start with your name, and our title is solving, what is it, variables on both sides, part 2. Here we go with our notes. Name. And we'll start with a flow map. I think I'm going to have 5 steps for you. So we'll start with a distribution step. Then combine terms. Then get variables all on one side. And that's the new step here. This is the new exciting thing right there. These other steps we've already had on our flow maps before. Then we're going to go to add, subtract, both sides. And then multiply, divide, both sides. And usually it's just a division step. It's really rare that we do any multiplication. So there's our flow. All right, so let's do a problem. We're going to follow that flow map to do this problem. Let's see, I need a new color. How are these colors? Let's go with blue. So let's distribute first. That's going to give me 6x plus 10 equals 8x. Combine terms. Well, there's no combining that I can do at this stage. New, get the variables on one side. I can either subtract 8x from both sides or subtract 6x from both sides. I do not like to have a 0 on one side. It messes with my brain. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. That's going to give me 10 equals 2x. So I did the get variables on both sides. Now I'm looking at the add subtract from both sides. Well, there's no adding or subtracting that I need to do at this stage. Now I'm at the multiply but divide both sides, so I'm going to divide both sides by a 2. And that leaves me with x equals 5. So the only thing we've added is this step right here, the getting the variables on one side of the equation. Okay, let's do this one. We'll come back to the notes in a moment. Distribute. There's no distribution. Combine terms. Well, I can combine terms. I have a 3x and a 5x that can combine to become an 8x. Get the variables on one side. Okay, let's take the 8x minus 8x minus 8x. So 8 equals 6 minus 8 is negative 2x. We've done that. Add or subtract. Well, there's no adding or subtracting to do. Multiply or divide. Well, I can divide both sides by negative 2. So x equals negative 4. Just followed my flow map. All right, this is a good one. This has got everything. Okay, we're going to do this one in our notes because it is so wonderful. It's got everything from that flow map. It's got the distribution. It's got the combining of like terms. So we're going to start with the distribution step. That's going to give me 6x plus 15 plus 1 equals 5x plus 3. Now we'll combine these two terms right there. Notice we're just following the flow map. 6x plus 16 you have options here. Do you want to subtract 5x from both sides, or do you want to subtract 6x from both sides? I'm going to subtract the 5x, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because 6 minus 5 is easier for my brain than 5 minus 6. Minus 5x, minus 5x. That gives me x plus 16 equals 3. Remember, this was the one new step in our flow map. Just right there. This step right there. That is the lesson. Everything else we've done before. Let's subtract a 16 from both sides. So minus 16 minus 16. Little one-step equation. X equals negative 13. Negative 13. Why? Because 3 minus 16 is negative 13. You can't see it. I'll sing for you. Same sign, add and keep. Different sign, subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number. So subtract the numbers. That gives you a 13. Keep the sign of the higher number, which is the negative 13. All right, let's do this one. A little distribution. 5 plus 4p equals distribution 5p plus 10. Let's get all the p's on one side. I'm going to subtract a 4p from both sides. I did that because 5 minus 4 is easier for my brain than 4 minus 5. 5 minus 4 is 1p. We just completed the lesson. Everything else is old. Subtracting 10 from both sides. 5 minus 10 is negative 5. P equals negative 5. Okay. This one's got a couple good steps. A distribution step, so 5t plus 10 minus 2 equals 6t minus 9. Combining terms. 5t plus 8 equals 6t minus 9. I'm going to do minus 5t to both sides. It's just easier for my brain to do 6 minus 5. 8 equals 6 minus 5. That's t minus 9. 6 minus 5, t minus 9. And let's add 9 to both sides. Plus 9 plus 9. That's going to give me a 17 equals t. And that's my last slide. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in class.